Deadpool 3 might be releasing in late 2024, but it's already one of the most talked about superhero crossovers in recent memory. But there's a question everybody's asking. How will Wolverine be reintroduced into the MCU if he died in Logan? And will it involve the time travel devices made by Tony Stark in Endgame? Well, Hugh Jackman might have some answers. So today, let's break down his most recent comments on the matter. First up, time traveling and universe hopping aren't out of the question. Deadpool is the fourth wall-breaking merc with a mouth that doesn't have any creative boundaries, so theoretically, he could simply climb out of a shot in Deadpool 2 and just scoot on over to the MCU. The hilarious thing is, once he jumps into Earth 616, people will assume he's always there. He'd be telling the Avengers, "No, I jumped from 20th Century Fox through a loophole in Disney's acquisition of the company," and the Avengers would just be like, "What's Disney?" Still, that's the most creative way we can come up with. We encourage you to come up with yours because one of us has to be right about this. Well, anyway, there's one thing we know for sure, and it's been confirmed that both Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman in the official announcement video. Deadpool 3 won't be messing around with what happened in Logan. In the Logan timeline, Wolverine's story is over. He can finally rest after nearly 2 centuries of war, loss, pain, and suffering. Ryan's not touching that with a 10-foot pole because he knows the fans would rip him apart for it, no matter how much they love his aviation gin ads. But Hugh Jackman has confirmed that time travel and universe hopping is exactly how Wolverine and Deadpool will arrive in the MCU. Speaking with Radio Andy on SiriusXM, Jackman reminded fans that there are several time travel devices in the Marvel world. Deadpool will just pick one of them, since he can break the fourth wall whenever he wants and time hop his way to Wolverine. Now that Deadpool can jump to Wolverine, what's next? You know, we forgot to mention that there are 3 time-traveling devices that Deadpool can use to get to Earth 616. The first is the most obvious. In Deadpool 2, Cable gives Deadpool his personal time-traveling device from the future. Negasonic Teenage Warhead and her girlfriend, Yukio, help him fix up issues, and Viola, Wade Wilson's personal timeline-hopping device that lets him shoot Ryan Reynolds from accepting the Green Lantern role. The other device is created by Tony Stark in Endgame. Not sure how he'll get his hands on that one, so your guess is as good as ours. But then there's America Chavez, the universe-hopping teenager. Now that she's a part of the MCU, she could simply learn to control her powers and use them to get to the 20th century's X-Men universe. Wade runs into her by coincidence and asks her to take him around different universes, assuming, of course, that America doesn't run away from a dual sword-wielding man dressed in a red jumpsuit. You know what? The first option seems more plausible. What do you think? So let's say Wade uses the first option to jump timelines and find Wolverine at a time before 2029. What happens then? The TVA shows up. They assume Wolverine is Deadpool's partner, and the two of them get transported back to headquarters where chaos breaks out. In fact, the 2 mutants could arrive at the moment the sacred timeline goes haywire. So remember the end of Loki's season 1 finale? Sylvie stabs He Who Remains, he dies, Loki gets teleported back to the TVA, and everyone looks at the sacred timeline splintering into dozens and dozens of branches. Who's to say that one of those branches isn't the X-Men universe from 20th Century Fox? Loki probably won't be making a cameo in Deadpool 3, but rumor has it that the TVA and Mobius might be on Wade and Wolverine's tails as soon as they jump ship. There's a channel on YouTube called The Heavy Spoilers that revealed that both Mobius and Miss Minutes will play a big role in the Deadpool 3quel. We wouldn't believe that on its own, but then came Ryan's tease on Twitter. So there was a random account with the name Miss Minutes, and it tweeted, "Hey there Deadpool, love Miss Minutes." And the actor responded by saying, "Hello Miss Minutes." Not sure if that's a deliberate misdirect, but as of right now, we're pretty sure that Deadpool will make Mobius and Miss Minutes' lives miserable. Next up, what will Deadpool and Wolverine's relationship be like? We've all seen Ryan and Hugh's fake real-life feud, right? They meet up, make silly videos about hating each other and being as rude as possible, and then they go their merry ways. Turns out Deadpool and Wolverine are going to share the same dynamic. Hugh recently appeared on the Empire Film podcast to tease the 2 superheroes' relationship with each other. He joked that Wolverine would probably punch Deadpool in the head a lot, but that's near to the truth. At best, Wolverine barely tolerates Wade Wilson's existence, and at worst, he wants to slice his head off and throw it in a black hole. That's their relationship on an average day, and Jackman thinks so too. They're opposites in terms of personality. Logan is closed off, unemotional, and a lone wolf. Wade is curious, talkative, and completely unstable. In fact, the closest thing to Wade's and Logan's relationship we've seen so far is Wade's frenemy situation with Cable. Cable barely tolerates him and only helps him out because it's the right thing to do, and not because he cares about him. But with Logan, that entire dynamic is dialed to 11. Still, even though the 2 characters have a love-hate relationship, it could still turn out to be a fantastic buddy film like Lethal Weapon or Rush Hour. We can't wait to see how that turns out, especially since Ryan and Jackman are besties in real life. Coming up, is Evan Peters back in the MCU? Before we dive into this rumor, you have to realize that it's just a rumor. There's no concrete evidence other than a few articles on Google. But according to the website Sportskita, Evan Peters might actually be returning to the MCU as Quicksilver. Now, we have no idea if this is true. As of this video, this is just a conjecture, and we're not even sure which version of Quicksilver he'll play, but let's go by what we've seen so far. In WandaVision, Evan returned as Wanda's long-lost brother. Here's the thing though, it should have been Aaron Taylor Johnson in the role, don't you think? After all, he's been Quicksilver throughout the MCU, and more importantly, he's the variant that's actually Wanda's brother, so why bring Evan into the mix? Well, Jack Schaefer, the showrunner for WandaVision, said that bringing back Evan was a conscious choice. He's been more popular with audiences ever since Days of Future Past hit cinemas, and naturally, he's much more familiar than Aaron Taylor Johnson's version of the same character. But then again, he was just a random citizen under Agatha Harkness's control. He just happened to look like the X-Men Quicksilver. What's more, Deadpool 3 could use the multiverse to bring back several legacy characters. Let's say that there are multiple variants of Quicksilver in different universes. Since Deadpool's already jumping around different universes, why not visit the universe where Evan Peters' version of Quicksilver actually exists? And why stop there? Why not really go crazy and bring back several legacy characters from the X-Men universe? Charles Xavier made a brief cameo in Doctor Strange 2, so why not have James McAvoy's variant of Professor X make a brief cameo too? The writers can still kill him off, but it'll be fun. And also, why not bring Cable into the fray too? Wade would probably make some meta AF jokes about him, sounding exactly like Thanos or something. If you're talking about timeline jumping and universe hopping, then the fans expect a lot more than just Deadpool and Wolverine. Obviously, it's their movie, but it'd be fun to see them meet different superheroes and supervillains along the way, creating more havoc as they go along. Plus, this could easily bring the TVA back into action, with Mobius and Miss Minutes hot on the mutants' tails. The fun is truly endless here. Finally, let's talk about Hugh's jacked arms. Just from the announcement video, you can see that the actor's been working pretty hard for Deadpool 3. His arms have definition, his biceps are popping, and he seems relatively lean, but being 54 years old has its challenges. As you grow older, it's naturally harder to put on lean muscle, and Wolverine needs to be jacked in order to appear like the warrior he is. Right now, Jackman's starring in The Music Man on Broadway, so he doesn't really get enough time to train. A theater schedule is really tough, with multiple back-to-back shows per week, but he has an incentive for continuing to hit the gym, punching Deadpool's head off. P.S. Jackman reveals the better-than-ever plan. In a recent interview, the actor revealed that he's doing 8 shows a week and hitting the gym 3 times a week. 3 times a week seems fine, but for an actor his age and experience, the man needs to up the ante to at least 5 times a week, and he will once The Music Man's run is over. He promises fans that not only is he gonna dial his training up to 11, but he's also gonna be better than ever. There was a rumor in October that the actor's probably gonna use a body double or CGI to enhance his physique, but with this interview, it seems like Jackman's excited to do it on his own once again. Actors generally need 6 focused months of training in order to get into superhero shape, and thankfully, Jackman won't need much help in that department. He's got his own trainer, and he has muscle memory by his side. Plus, he said it makes him even more excited to know that he's going to be stronger than Ryan once his training is done, so he can take him out in several thousand different ways. Hey, the more Wolverine violence, the better, right? And that's a wrap, folks. Thanks for watching. So how do you think time travel works in Deadpool 3? And will that affect the overall MCU in an irreversible way? Tell us down below. And as always, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more videos in the future. See you at the next one.